British Asian hospitality industry is under threat. It's the biggest threat that's been seen since its creation. British Asian hospitality is something that is entrenched in our culture. It's something that we find all the time. Chicken tikka masala is the most popular dish in the UK. But we have to see one thing that's coming, and you need to know about it. British Asian restaurants across the UK will face mass closures over the next 2 years. But why is this? Well, there's two reasons. One is internal problems, which you may not be aware of. And the second one is external problems, which you may see from time to time in association with things with the government. For one thing, immigration. But one other thing that you may not notice or may have is menu size. Now, menu size is something that you will all know about. So just as a sense of the audience, how many of you out there eat at an Indian restaurant or an Indian takeaway? Just by a show of hands. Blimey, new customers. Okay, so, and as a show of hands again, how many of you come into contact with a menu that is maybe more than 100 items long? Wow. I too found myself with this same problem, and it is a problem. So what we find is mass production within Indian restaurants and takeaways. So you'll notice with the korma, there are many varieties: chicken, chicken tikka, lamb tikka, prawn, king prawn, vegetable, paneer, mushroom, and the list goes on. So if you take, for example, just the classics, multiply them by those several changes there, and you have, in context, 100 items just in that section alone. We've not even started with the starters, and we've not gone to the great naan breads. The menus are huge. They're far too big for creating quality, and this is a key problem. Is it a problem I faced? Yes, it was. So in 2008, 2009, I received a damning TripAdvisor review. It was 2 A4 pages long, each point more graphic than the next. And what I found was that every point was spot on. This was from a customer who we'll term as the big Yorkshireman, who came to see his dad in Torquay every 2 months, loved the food we did, but he saw us decline. And in the recession, where I had made different cuts for the restaurant, I was going down the wrong way, and he pointed them out. So what I did, I went and responded to each and every single point. The first TripAdvisor response that I ever did, and I have done every single one since. And I said to him at the end of those, these are the changes I'm going to make, and I'm going to invite you back in, and you're going to see what we've done. We're going to come back to the big Yorkshireman a little bit later. Just to give you an idea of sales within the industry. Okay, so from the 60s to the 80s, we see some growth as curry becomes favourable. From the 80s to the 90s, a huge spike. This was when curry took over the nation, and we can see that in Rusholme in Manchester with the Curry Mile, curry houses door to door to door, all doing incredible business. But what you'll see, as that plateaued and we hit the millennium, we came in towards the recession. We expect to see closures during recession due to bad business, but we weren't expecting to see that at the end there. Where we come in and plateau was where multiple outlets were able to absorb those closures and continue sales. Curry is still popular. It will remain to be. The biggest seller of curry in the UK is Wetherspoons. They are franchised, they are across the entire nation, and they supply so much curry to the general public, which again strengthens the point that curry is still popular. It's on the rise. But what's happening to those restaurants that are out there? What's happening within the mediocrity within these establishments? What is it down to? There are several points. One is immigration. We need skilled staff. To make a basic chicken curry, you are looking at 22 ingredients, minimum. And that's basic. So when we're talking about elevated cuisine, we're talking more ingredients, more know-how, more skills. And we're not finding those skills in the current climate. The Home Office has put in only one way to get chefs in from overseas. And that way is to gain a sponsorship license for £5,000, apply, hoping that you're going to achieve with high solicitor fees. The applicant has to be paid £35,000 at a minimum a year. So if you want 3 of them, good luck. There is a prerequisite though, As an establishment, you may not serve takeaway. Exactly. So you're not allowed to serve takeaway as a prerequisite because it comes under fast food mass consumption, even if you're one of the top fine dining restaurants in the country. Bizarre, we know. This brings me on to the government. Are they helping us? Well, they say they are, but it is lip service at its best. I've spoken to many, many MPs. I've even spoken to House of Commons, and I went to a networking event where I spoke to someone from the House of Lords who told me directly, your industry is the worst PR ever. Sort it out. So I did. I created my own TV show, and we created a music video, and we created a magazine to showcase the best of what the industry has to offer. This will come in a little bit later when we talk about the solutions for the industry. We have a lack of skills. We have a lack of training. There was no training centre for a £4 billion industry, which is what it's worth to the government, and they're not helping us. In terms of the government's involvement, we've had no training centres. In the last 20 years, when the government has worked with organisations from the curry industry, these old boys' clubs have not invited women into the industry for cultural reasons. In this day and age, they've not invested in the youth. Where are we going if we're not making changes in the last 20 years? The Indian restaurant menu, for those in attendance today, you will notice that that menu has not changed. And you could be going to an establishment of 30 years and counting, and if anything, all they've done is add items to the menu. There's no emphasis on women when we have some of the greatest women chefs in the industry, Dipna Anand, Sarah Ali Chowdhury, Harry Gotra, phenomenal chefs, TV personalities, but they don't get the airtime because the male-dominated industry that is Asian hospitality, which is cultural, religious, whichever way you want to look at it, they're not getting the break that they deserve. So where do we go from here, and how do we fix these issues? We have to adapt to change. We have to be able to look and deconstruct these encyclopedia menus and bring them back to something that focuses on quality, local produce, environmental factors, and even veganism. Indian restaurant menus are aesthetically vegan at heart. You can take a look down the vegetarian section and bar the saag paneer, which is an Indian cheese, which you can replace with vegan cheese quite easily. That is something that can be changed into more revenue. 7% of the population is vegan now, whether it's through lifestyle choice or a choice that they've made due to animal rights. It's here, and it's here to stay. And these are the trends and patterns that we need to look at. We have to focus on quality, not quantity. The big Yorkshireman is coming back into my speech again, but he told me specifically what not to do. But you must observe, you must listen to your customers, you must take on negative feedback, you must have feedback cards as a starter, and find actually how can you present value for money, great tasting food, and hone in to your specific target market. But you must know what that is first. Food that's being created for mass consumption has no target market. It's hit and hope at best, and we have to draw the line at where are we targeting fine dining? Are we a casual restaurant? What type of eatery actually are we? And what do we represent as an ethos of our business? We have to look into why these things are changing, and within the target market, the market itself is very unforgiving. The market doesn't care about your feelings. It doesn't care about whether you are going to succeed or fail. The market dictates everything, and you have to adjust to that. When you see restaurants buying up awards as best chef or best restaurateur or anything of that nature, you have to ask yourself as a customer, is it actually real? Because at £1,600 you could buy yourself an award. At £6,500 you can also buy yourself an award at different levels. And you can make yourself seem as though you are the best chef of the year or the best restaurant of the year. But if your health hygiene rating is a 2, how does that even make sense? Where's the judging? Where is it that we are bringing in people from the industry to judge these restaurants? I myself found myself in an award show in London, and I was giving a speech, and I was talking about why there was no women in the award show. Where were the women competitors? I spoke about veganism. I spoke about many different things that the industry does not want to talk about, and I know they don't want to talk about it because when the airing of the show was made, my speech was cut. So in 20 years of established organizations and established curry industry elites, if you will, we are not seeing any changes. We're not seeing anything of substance. When you see an award show and there's an item for a curry king, but there's no curry queen category, what are we really doing? Marketing has to be a huge influence on what we're doing, and that comes with these awards as you try to market these things, but the spike is 2 weeks to 4 weeks at best off the back of one of those. Facebook, Instagram, these are the most underpriced markets for advertising that there has ever been, ever. You can target your demographic, you can target who you're selling to, why you're selling to them, and you can also look at their likes, dislikes, etc. And you can, for a small sum of £20, harness 1,200 people. And just to give you an idea of actually how that works, how many of you out there Sky Plus shows, record them on Sky? Okay, and as a show of hands, when you're fast forwarding through the adverts, which I know you do, your attention, where does it go? I'm pretty sure it goes to a smartphone. And if it's there, you can actually quite easily work out the fact that, say, a major show's on, and you schedule an Instagram or Facebook post at that time when the adverts are due to come on. During the live show, you can actually harness the fact that you're going to be in somebody's hand. And you're going to be able, they're going to see your advert at that time. So it's about understanding how you're going to break down a marketing strategy. And not all business owners can do this. So you may have to go out and hire external and outsource it. Get the marketing people in, get the business consultants in, start building a business that relies on expertise. Technology and automation is the way to go. You have to start looking at stock control. You can do this for an electronic point of sale system which harnesses how much stock you have, how many items you will be selling, what's not selling, what do we take off, what do we move, what do we change. This menu does not need to stick around for 365 days. You can change it weekly, monthly. It's there for you to emphasize exactly what you are doing and why you are doing these things in the first place. An award show that we've put together as the A1 Awards will focus on genuine merit. There are no fees for tables or backhanders. It focuses on women at the forefront. It makes the choice to showcase to the people out there that these people who are not paying for these awards can actually come in under genuine merit and really hone in on the fact that these unsung heroes, these game changers, innovators, creative minds are out there, and they will be here in the future. Mass production is not here for long. This is a sample of how they mentioned women at the award show I spoke at. And it really hones in on the fact that people need to know about what's happening internally. Because externally, you might see a very promising curry house that does really, really well. But internally, there are so many issues that come with it. The industry's future, stereotypically, floral carpet, velvet curtains, the usual. We need to break that mold. The curry house, bolted house days are very much coming to an end. We're going to see different forms of regional Indian cuisine, and you're going to see Indian food rise in a way that you've never seen it before or may not be accustomed to, but you must embrace. The economic downturn is still here as we move forward, and we must address this. How are you going to place your business in this current economic climate to be profitable, to be value for money? As stock prices increase in foodstuffs 20%, how are you going to maintain that? You can't just put 20% onto your bottom line because customers won't be willing to pay it. If there's a buffet down the road doing it $8.95, so don't know how they do that, but you will find that that makes no economic sense. Industry awards have to change. There has to be judging process. There has to be ways for customers to know that those awards are valid and upfront and transparent at all levels. We should be able to know whether this restaurant is Restaurant of the Year on merit or not. Professionalism and innovation is at the crux of what we're doing here. There is no training facilities, there's no centre of excellence like I mentioned before, and that has to be created. I'm in the process of doing that at the moment, and I'm hoping with my work that I've done with South Devon College locally that we can start expanding that into something far bigger. This is a little shot from the TV show I've produced, which is the Asian Restaurant Owners Network. It's called Chili Chili Bang Bang. And it encompasses a multicultural view of what the future of the Asian industry will look like. Diverse, full of gender parity, full of innovation, full of design, technique, and creativity. We're about to see it change. We're about to see mass closures, yes. This is what is going to rise from the ashes. This is what will be the future. This is what you and everybody at home should embrace and demand. We are heading to the future, and it's not bright for everybody, but this is what will rise. This is the future of Asian hospitality. Thank you very much.